Let's get ready to rumble.
All right. Welcome everyone to the call. We are live. All right. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Will Middleton and Kurt von Ahnen from LifterLMS coming to you. We'll be live for the next hour answering your LifterLMS questions. Anyone who wants to join live, let us know where you're calling in from. Let us know what questions you have about Lifter. We'll be sharing our screen. We'll be talking through tech strategy or just hanging out. Feel free to jump on the stream and let us know any questions or comments you have. We're already highlighting a few of these. I've put a few in the comment section from YouTube that we could just go ahead and roll into. But before we do that, I'm calling in today from Tennessee, Morristown, Tennessee, and Kurt's calling in from
Tennessee. We should be playing that song in the background.
I've heard that's another one I haven't heard. That's the song of the week that Will hasn't heard. But cool. I guess so Kurt, you doing well in Kansas? How's it going with your development, your move? You're getting settled in and getting everything set up?
Kansas is amazing. And it's such a weird thing. The people, dude. The people are amazing. I went for I took the internet for a walk today around the block this morning, and ran into my neighbor Candy walking the two Labradors, and she's like, "Hi, good morning. Have a great day." And everyone's just pleasant and nice and calm. I took my son to a youth group last night, and man, there's probably, I'm just guessing, 60, maybe 70 kids his age at a thing. And it was well funded, nice events. We went to pick him up when it was over. He had a smile on his face. He's like, I said, "How was it?" He goes, "Well, Dad, out here in Kansas, people introduce themselves to you. It's kind of weird. It's different. I like it." It's like, all right. Because, in California, it's like, they spot the new kid, and it's like looking at the weak calf in the herd. They just separate it and let it sit by itself for a little bit to see if it dies of its own volition, right? But here in Kansas, they just, "Hey, how you doing? My name's Johnny. I'm a farmer." I don't think that's what they really said, but no, it's been really cool. And my wife stumbled into a supermarket and walked out with a job, so that's pretty cool.
Very cool. That is very cool. Everyone's getting settled in. And,
yeah, it's crazy cool. I like Kansas. No regrets. Hashtag escaping California is taking effect.
Interesting. Well, cool. I guess I'll just be in Tennessee for the next 2 weeks or so, and then I'll be over back to Atlanta for WordCamp Atlanta. That's coming up October 14 and 15. I'm getting excited for that. So anyone in the Southeast, check out WordCamp Atlanta. Tickets are still on sale, and we're announcing all the speakers and everything on social media and getting it all sorted. And it's cool. It's a challenge to bring WordCamps back after big shutdown for with the whole COVID thing throughout the last 2020 to 2023 really damaged the momentum of live events. Year over year, we'd be hosting live events, and then we were disrupted with hosting live events for a while, and now we're trying to bring it back. So support local WordPress events in your area. Check out local meetups, and maybe Kurt will organize one for Kansas. Did that cut out?
Dude, you got to tell me when I'm muted like that. I was really going on a riff.
Yeah, it was I didn't know if my Wi-Fi was messed up. I was checking our stream.
No. It was my fault. I was just saying, I'm meeting with the Hutchinson Startup organization next week. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I'm doing something. We'll be talking to high schools about the power of WordPress, or running an apprenticeship on membership and learning sites. I don't know, dude, but something's going to happen here. And not for nothing, there's a whole lot more going on here than I thought there was when I moved here. In a good way. The culture is super awesome. So
awesome.
By the way, if you look in the chat here, the Tennessee rap song on YouTube, is it's coming. It's coming. It's right there for you. Tennessee, 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 Tennessee. By Arrested Development. I'm not that old. I'm not that old. This song is hip, yo. This song is hip.
We'll roll into that here.
Well, we're talking about music in the question.
Yeah, this is the music question. Let's see. I haven't read this question. I just put it in the comments. In my hour-and-a-half class videos, I'm wondering when to use background music, if at all. Okay, cool. So this is kind of a strategy question about background music. What criteria do you use to make a decision as to whether to use distracting background music? If I do music, it will be my own Chinese music that I've wrote and recorded. Very cool. Yeah, that's a very good question around music. I usually put background music on my YouTube videos, and on our stream now we have some background music. I'll turn it down a little bit. I think I have it kind of high for the intro. Yeah, I think background music, in my own experience, just makes it a little bit easier to stick around and listen to. Sometimes like headstrong content, people can zone out a little bit, and if it gets too kind of dry and boring, it's just easy to disengage. So that's why I like to have background music in my YouTube videos and my course videos and stuff like that. But I know there is an accessibility concern. Some people who might have a accessibility issue regarding hearing might have like maybe an attention related challenge regarding music. That's another possibility. So there are a few different considerations as to should I use background music, should I not use background music. I tend to lean towards background music, but I haven't really gone fully in depth as to like what are the full pros and cons of background music. Kurt, in your experience, do you use background music in your stuff, or what do you think about it?
Some people don't care. Most people don't care. The people that care get vocal, right? How many times have we had someone jump on this and go, your background music's too distracting, right? And it's like, and then they'll hit me up afterwards, like, because if they know who I am, right? They'll hit me up on like Facebook Messenger and be like, I tried to listen to you guys. That background music was just too distracting. And, but at the end of the day, it's all comes down to personal choice. Now, if you're going to have music that you wrote, that you performed, that you don't have to worry about copyright issues or any of that, which is super cool, right? So that's awesome. I think the key is to turn the music down. Don't let it become the focal point. It's meant to be the background. And I'm also a big proponent of gaps in speech, like owning the space between the words. I'm going to call him famous, but I call him famous. A speaking coach really taught me how to identify the spaces between words. And instead of trying to fill every gap and every moment of space with your presence vocally, sometimes you just have to let a gap happen and own that space. And that background music makes that more natural.
Yeah.
If you don't have the music, you're more tempted to try and fill in every possible nanosecond of airtime. And that puts too much pressure on you.
Right. I think that's a really good point about filling airtime and creating media that's easy to engage with and easy to listen to. That's why I prefer background music. I have I haven't been officially diagnosed with ADHD or anything, but I do have definite issues like holding attention. And so when I have something like background music or some kind of animation or something on screen that like my attention can temporarily shift to, if my brain's checking out a little bit, I stick with the content and then I'll re-engage with it, maybe in 30 seconds or something like that. But if it's just speech and no background music, no like animation on screen or anything going on, and I tune out, I disengage, I'm more inclined to just close the video entirely and leave the session, leave the space. So that's why I like to have other items to interact with in I saw a comment from us on Twitch. I just got distracted by that. That's why I like to have other things to interact with in the space. I'm already getting distracted by the chat, but yeah, I'm a big fan of background music and adding it. And we did have a question. Marcus Carter joining us live. Hi guys, great to see you again. Here comes another question. Yeah, feel free to drop any questions in the chat.
Good show, Marcus. Good show. He's getting to be a regular.
Yeah. From LifterLMS in the last week, we had, I'm not able to get the sign-in option during checkout. Can you help, please? Sign-in option during checkout. Let me check the video that this was listed on. Oh, okay. LifterLMS WooCommerce. This is a good question. Let me pull up a demo site and see if I have a WooCommerce demo site available. This is an important feature when using LifterLMS and WooCommerce. So this is only going to apply to our users who are working with WooCommerce for their checkout. For anyone who's not aware, LifterLMS has a WooCommerce integration. So if you wanted to integrate your checkout with WooCommerce, a third-party product that allows you to sell products on a WordPress site and run a store, a super useful way to sell physical and digital products in the same store. Is it going to share my screen? There it goes. We can sell both physical and digital products using WooCommerce. Very popular for that. It's also very popular if you want to have a cart option on your website where users can put a bunch of things in their cart. If they want to purchase 3 to 5 courses at the same time, throw them on the cart, purchase through WooCommerce, and then the LifterLMS WooCommerce extension will enroll them automatically based on what they purchase. But when configuring your WooCommerce setup, like in the video that this user left a comment on, we have to make sure that our WooCommerce settings are configured properly, because WooCommerce also allows you to sell anything you want. It could be shirts. It could be, you could sell, I don't think you could sell sandwiches. That would be a challenge, but you could probably sell like glasses, or if you were like, I sold eyeglasses through WooCommerce for a while. I was drop shipping glasses, but you could sell anything through WooCommerce. So it's not just digital products. So they have a lot of settings, and it's important to configure the settings specifically to your store. And in LifterLMS websites or membership websites, we want to have a login. So we need an email and password to be collected on checkout. So this question was, I'm not able to get my sign in on checkout. And that's because of these settings right here at the top. Guest checkout. Allow customers to place an order without an account. We want to uncheck the box to say you have to have an account in order to process the checkout on our website. This is one of the items in our documentation that's highlighted as make sure that this customers have to have an account in order to check out. And then we actually do want to check that second box that says allow customers to log in during checkout. So if you do have an account already, you could log in and check out. And then we'd say allow customers to create an account during checkout. Absolutely. And I don't need to allow customers to create an account on my account page. So we'll automatically generate a username to set their password. We're just going to uncheck this box. So this is usually my configuration, is I want users on the checkout page to set their email, set their password, first name, last name, address. And these are the configurations you need to do that. You have to have an account. You can log into an existing account at checkout if you happen to already have one. And you create an account at checkout if you don't already have one. And this way, we can save their username and password as a WordPress user, and then they can log in later and access their courses. So that's a really important one with WooCommerce. Kurt, do you have any insight with any client build experiences around what people miss with the WooCommerce setup? Like, what are they, any questions, points of friction that people have with integrating in that setup?
No, I wouldn't say that there's things that people are missing, but gosh, you know what? I sound like I'm a running commercial lately, but if you look at like WP Launchify with Spencer Foreman, his tech stack includes WooCommerce, but like a custom, like my account page kind of setup that uses short codes to do other things. And so there's a lot of really cool things that you can build around these tools. So like you and I, for the purpose of what we do here in this hour, we talk about a lot of out of the box solutions, right? But then when you get deeper and deeper into WordPress and its real capabilities and its freedom of design, it's really cool what you can do. I don't think there's much missing with the integration. In fact, when I think about it, one of the things I do like about WooCommerce is I like their My Account page better. And there's a couple of other things I do like better. So that integration's not to me, I used to avoid it like the plague, but now I kind of embrace it a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a little more advanced with configuring your settings and navigating checkout, but it's got some powerful features to it that are definitely advantageous for some setups. And Marcus has a question here in chat. I'm going to run Facebook ads to one of the courses I have on the site. I've created a new order so that I can differentiate the source of the purchase. Is there a way I can easily export a list of specific orders? Created a new order so that I can differentiate the source of the purchase. Yeah,
well,
I'm trying to.
So if he was using a CRM or a WP Fusion tool, he would be able to add a tag for any of those purchases. right? Is that what we're trying to think of, right? Because he wants to export the list. So I assume that's for some kind of CRM integration or CRM usage. And so when you think about, pardon me, like the WooCommerce integration, you can add tags when people make certain purchases on certain products. Groundhog adds tags for certain actions and benchmarks within the site. And then WP Fusion, if you're not using Groundhog, you could use WP Fusion to interact with almost any other third-party plugin to institute that kind of tagging and isolation that you're looking for.
Yeah, I think I've done Facebook ads before with the course, and I was trying to remember what their setup was. They had the ad that linked to the course, and of course there's the tracking link from that you generate out of Facebook. And then we're looking, I assume we're trying to run like a conversion report just to compare, like when you go into orders and see which was generated by a certain order number. Conversion tracking would be interesting, because I know there's like the Facebook pixel thing, and I haven't set this up in a super long time, but when they click a certain link out of Facebook, Google Analytics can like track the landing pages. So if somebody were to land on your website from a link that has like the Facebook pixel or whatever in it, or the tracking link, then Google Analytics now knows whether that's going to turn into a conversion or not. And I like to use Monster Insights to integrate Google Analytics, but I know you can do it for free without Google Analytics. So I'm not sure, like, with the setup of creating a new order so I can differentiate the source of the purchase, and when you go to orders to see if it was generated by an order number, I'm not sure what the current setup is to integrate Facebook and Lifter. Usually I've seen it where we send somebody from a Facebook ad directly to our website via a certain link, like a redirect link or a pretty link or something like that. And then we would use Google Analytics to track which of our users landed on that link. And then Google Analytics would tell us which of our users converted, who clicked on that link and then also converted. So that way we know this person came from Facebook because they landed on the link. And then this is the people who also completed a purchase. That's how I would usually get those numbers, as to like how many clicks are we getting from Facebook, and then how many conversions did we get as a percentage from there. That's what I've done before. But yeah, I guess, Kurt, have you done integrations before with an ad software?
No. How about that? That was a simple one. No.
That was a simple one. Yeah, and I'm sure there's a bunch of ways to do it, but I like Google Analytics for that. Makes it a little simpler. And then the nice thing about that is once we start getting into more complicated data analytics tracking, we can start to say like how many of our users found us on Google or found us from a search engine. They were on Google search, now they're on our website. We can track that data, but we can also track how many people came from like Facebook. Maybe it's a Facebook page to our website. So we can track referring URLs and different lead sources all in one analytics tool. And Google Analytics is complicated. In that interface, it's a pretty complicated interface to learn, but Chris at Lifter is getting integrated into Google Analytics 4, and he said he spent this last weekend, I think he said last weekend or last few days, exploring the interface and getting used to it, and now he's really into it and understands how it works and everything. But it takes a little bit of getting used to the interface, but once you do understand the interface, it's very powerful.
I think, and here we go with Kurt's opinion because nobody cares, Google did such a horrible job of rolling out GA4. I have all these sites, dude, and it was like, you must upgrade, you must. And I was like, okay. So then I sign in, I upgrade everything, I get everything all set, I put everything in the right fields, I hit, edit, change, save, whatever it was, and I got you are not authorized to make a change to this account. I'm like, I am this account. What the heck is going on here? Dude, it was an absolute nightmare. I finally just said, you know what? I just erased all the accounts. I said, forget it. And I went a different way on analytics.
Yeah, what did you end up doing to like track analytics, like traffic coming in and conversions and things like that?
Well, because what was I really looking at, right? And I started asking my clients, what are you really looking at with your analytics? Half of them weren't even looking at analytics. Like, it's amazing how many web creators and owners they don't really care like that. Like their website is their electronic business card, and it's cool that it's there, but it's not like they're tracking like, is my traffic up or down this week, right? For some businesses that I help launch. And so they just wanted to know that the website was working, that it was up, and that it had some traffic or some people coming to it. And so I put in independent analytics. It's a free third-party plugin. It works in your back of your website, and it gives you pretty good feedback on who's coming, where they're coming from, what they're looking at, how long they're looking at it. What's your most popular piece of content on your website? All those things were what my customers thought was important, and they weren't using Google AdWords, or they weren't using conversion tracking per se. So they didn't really need the features with Google Analytics. And like I said, the rollout for me was horrible. And then I keep running into people that like, it was a big discussion point on Twitter for a long time. So many people were frustrated. Katie Keith with Barn 2. I think I remember her putting up something like, can anyone figure this out? And I was like, I gave up figuring it out. I turned it off. But, I realize it's one of those things that now that it's been released for a little bit, because, I seem to be an early adopter on all this crud. Now that it's been out for a little bit, I probably need to step back in time and revisit the subject, because sooner or later it's going to be important to me.
Yeah. Analytics are, you can get them from different softwares. Like different softwares provide different levels of analytics. Even in LifterLMS out of the box, we have the reporting system, which is basically an analytics dashboard. It just has limited information as to like what's displayed in the back end, even relative to what's collected. Like if we were to go into the WordPress database and look at things like when a student completed a lesson, in the back end of our LifterLMS reporting screen, if I pull up my site, LifterLMS reporting, we see information. Let me see, just pull up an example student. This student hasn't completed anything. Let me go back to student who's completed something. This one. Courses. This one. The example here, we can see completed January 19th, 2022. So that is stored in the database, that this is the date they completed, and when the LifterLMS reporting screen is loaded, it pulls in this data. But there's actually more specific information located in the database as to like at what time and what second did they complete this. And it's as far as like general LifterLMS usage goes, it's, we don't have it set up to where it tells you here the exact second that they clicked the button and it completed, but that is in the WordPress database. So if you did want the minute, down to the minute, no, it's not down to the second, it's down to the minute, I think, in the database as to when they mark complete, you could have that displayed here in your reporting. It would require a little bit of custom development, but it is stored in the database, so that information could be surfaced here. I've heard that feature request before, and it's actually on our feature request board to have it down to the minute, because LifterLMS user who provides courses had an issue where their students were going through and clicking the mark complete button on every lesson within like 5 minutes. And it's like, there's no way you took the whole course in 5 minutes. And so then they had to go prove to the student and tell them, I know you didn't take the course or whatever, you got to start over, whatever. And so we went into the database, looked at the timestamps and had that information. It just wasn't in the reporting screen, and the feature request is to add that to the reporting screen. I think that would be a good thing to add, but it's just, we got to figure out the formatting and everything here in the developer stuff. But yeah, so a lot of different ways to get reporting and analytics and different tools. Google Analytics is one of the more complicated but more comprehensive solutions, and that integrates with a lot of things. Like a lot of reporting tools integrate with Google Analytics. So if you ever did shift your business in some way, like you have your WordPress install with LifterLMS on it, but maybe you wanted to create a ClickFunnels website as well and like sell a book or try to sell your courses through ClickFunnels. Like I know Funk Roberts, a LifterLMS user who had a testimonial with us a while back, sells his products through ClickFunnels and then rolls people into Lifter. So there's more complicated setups you can get as you scale the business. And Google Analytics integrates with both ClickFunnels and WordPress. And so that would be a solution that integrates with a lot of tools. So it's very interoperable and it's very comprehensive, but it's also difficult to learn because it's such a complicated interface with so much information that can be configured in so many different ways that it's just not intuitive. You got to spend a little bit of time with it. But yeah, I guess to this question, how can I disable LifterLMS content protection for a page? This question regards a feature LifterLMS introduced recently, which is LifterLMS settings. content protection. It's one that not many LifterLMS users know about, but it's super useful. Content protection in the LifterLMS general settings. LifterLMS settings general. So this allows prevent users from copying and pasting and downloading images to the website. I think this is a fun feature. I'm usually testing LifterLMS websites where I'm logging in, copying my email and copying my password. And it's funny to see it says, copying is not allowed. I'm an administrator on this website. I'm logged into the backend. But if I were to remove administrators from the preview access, maybe I break the site. Let me reload. Shouldn't break the site.
Be like, boom, it's done. Poof.
That's
White
just
screen.
our demo server just does it sometimes, fails to load. So now that I removed admins are now subject to the content protection. If I try to copy this, Command C, Command V. See, copying is not allowed. So I want to copy. This is an example of an online learning system. Copy, paste. It just says copying is not allowed. So it you can see that in my browser. I'm pasting it in my new tab here.
Copying is not allowed.
It's just, yeah, it makes it really difficult to steal content. So that's a nice checkbox, single checkbox. Someone tries to copy and paste or download images, it prevents that a little bit. But this question is, how do I disable it for a page? So this user wants to specifically disable it for a specific page. And I'm not sure exactly how to remove that on a specific page and have it apply to the rest of the website. So that's a suggestion where I would go to the WordPress forum, the LifterLMS support area. LifterLMSWordPress.org is a great place to ask that question if you're a user with the free core plugin. Kurt, have you seen some examples where users have worked with the content protection? For me, I just default turn it on every website that I work on.
For my customers and their usage, it's either on or it's off. They either care or they don't care. I've never had a customer care about some things and not care about others. Right. So it's always been a always on or always off situation. I've never looked at breaking it up into different pages like we were just talking about.
Yeah. And this would be a site-wide thing. So it doesn't just apply to LifterLMS courses and lessons, it's site-wide. So I was trying to copy something off the homepage and it wasn't working. So it site-wide. We'll direct that user over to the forum. Awesome. Let's see. I'll jump over to Facebook and see if I have any other questions we can pull up. But yeah, anyone watching live, let us know where you're calling in from. And if you had any questions about Lifter, feel free to paste those in the chat. I did have a question this week that we could explore here on the call. Let me pull that up. I hadn't created a ticket. This question was trying to create a custom. Trying to create a custom template with elements. I want the section title, but I can't find a way to do this. Oh, it's a little more complicated. So maybe we won't get into that one here, Nicole. Let's look at this next question. Multilingual websites. That's a big FAQ. When I create a translated version, I get a page not found error. It seems the slug courses is not working. Okay, yeah, that's a very common question when it comes to translating WordPress sites. I haven't really opened up this problem in a long time and taken a look at it. But LifterLMS uses the course and lesson URLs and stuff to load certain content. So if I view my course here, we see in the URL bar, it says /course/ the name of my course. And if I were to visit a lesson, it says /lesson, and then it has a link to that lesson specifically. And that is very important that it says /lesson /course. And if we go to a quiz, it's going to say /quiz. That's a really important part of how LifterLMS functions and how the WordPress template hierarchy just works, is by saying, okay, this URL is using this structure, so it's going to be using the lesson template. It's important for us to know that. And so if we were to use a translation plugin and change the word lesson to something else, it might mess with the template structure. So we want to make sure that we do it in the proper way. And I know we do have a guide, LifterLMS.com, LifterLMS change, translate permalink. I've seen it before, but I haven't done a multilingual site in a super long time. But we do have some best practices for multilingual. Let me pull this up. So changing the permalink for a lesson or course, is definitely possible. It would be a custom code snippet in order to change how that post type is registered in WordPress so that LifterLMS can identify, okay, this is the post type that we want to apply our lesson template to. If we're going to change it from lesson, even if we were translating it to something else like session or something, even in English, we want the URL to say /session. We would want to make sure that WordPress understands that the lesson template is applied to the session post type. And so we're just basically reworking how the post type is there. So
yeah, I am absolutely amazed at how many questions we're getting on translations lately. That's either just really great news that we're expanding beyond our borders, or super news that we have vendors, suppliers, agencies, freelancers, whatever, working beyond their borders as well. So one way or the other, we're getting a lot of translation issues in lately. And I'm not going to say issues, but it's like questions, right? How does this work? How does that work? I just did a website with Translate Press and DeepL loaded on it because DeepL supposedly has better translations. And so we had to figure that whole thing out. And so it literally just does like a box at the bottom of the site, and it says translate. You click on it, translates the whole site to Portuguese, translates the whole site to different languages. But it's the part that is weird for me, being a native English speaker, is how many languages aren't complete. Like, when you look at the translation packs and stuff, there's some that just aren't complete, and then you get like partial translations. It's kind of really funky.
Yeah. And there's multiple ways to translate a WordPress website. Like you mentioned, there's, if we take a step back and take a look at the bigger picture in the context, or the use case, Kurt's favorite buzzword, use case. We take a look at the use case. What problem are we trying to solve? I know Marcus Carter actually in the chat does the English-Spanish site. So there's a multilingual element there. Not sure what the word is in English. What was coupons, maybe voucher. I've used the coupons, but not sure the other option is for. Okay, yeah, the voucher system. We'll dive into that here in a second. That's another good topic. But as far as like approaching translation issues, I typically recommend Loco Translate to change your entire website into a different language. So we would have an English website, and then a Spanish website, and then a French website. It's 3 separate WordPress installs that are all fully translated into the appropriate language. With translation, there's a lot of translation of meaning that's very important. The words might be correctly translated, but the meaning of the phrase is not. Like, we've been doing that at Lifter, where Chris has been doing videos of himself and then using an AI tool to translate it into another language. But it misses some of the meaning, where we say we'll lift you up through education. LifterLMS lifts people up through education. But if we translate that into Italian, our developer Rocco gave us feedback that in Italian it translates into like physically, I'll pick you up, and that doesn't sound right. Like in the way the commercial's intending to sound. So that's why I recommend different websites, and then you can have a more complete translation. But there are some shortcuts you could do, like having we have I think a Feature Friday video about this, where you can do like if you're doing a quiz in LifterLMS, you could have a quiz question title in English, quiz question in Spanish, and it's like just a /. So it's one question, you can see the title in English, title in Spanish. Same thing with the answer. So answer one, it would be like answer A would be I don't know, like
yes, C.
Yeah, that's a good example.
No,
yes,
no.
C. Yeah, no. So that would be a way to do it. It breaks down a little bit with long form. So I do see that like there's more opportunity with translation. It's just a bit of a, I don't know there. But yeah, I guess let's we have some questions coming in chat, so we'll just jump off that topic, but we might circle back if anyone else has any questions regarding translation.
Yeah, Luke's got a good one. Welcome to the call, Luke.
Yeah, welcome to the call, Luke. Let's dive into the vouchers real quick first here. Kurt, have you had you think you could share a bit of the explanation of like what's the difference in LifterLMS between your coupons and vouchers?
Yeah.
And that kind of thing.
Yeah. Can do. Everybody gets wrapped around the axle on this one, meaning that there's confusion. So a coupon is when you want to give somebody or a group of people a discount. You want to take a certain dollar amount, off of something that you're selling. That's the best use case for a coupon. So You go to coupons. It looks like Will's doing the screen share for us there, but you go to coupons, and when you open up coupons, you can add a new one, add a coupon, and then you can make it specific for a certain course or a certain lesson or a certain membership, and not lesson, either course or membership, and then a percentage or a dollar amount off for that coupon. So the next obvious question is, well, if I wanted to let them in for free, couldn't I just give them 100% off coupon? And you absolutely can do 100% off coupon. So maybe you're getting the result that you're looking for in that way. Vouchers is a little bit different. So vouchers is like, here's your ticket, like here's your free pass. It's, in some cases, I almost refer to it like a receipt. So my use case for vouchers is, let's say I sell a school a course and they have 100 students that are going to take that course. So I sell, let's say it's $5 for each student to go through the course, right? So the school is going to pay me $500. And then I'll go in and I'll create a voucher for that school. And it can either be, 100 vouchers all with their own code, or it could be one code that could be used up to 100 times. But for me, it's the ticket. It's like if you buy something through like one of those event kind of SaaS programs, or if you buy a concert ticket and it sends a QR code to your phone, and then you go into the gate, you show your QR code, they scan it, and you get in. This is almost like that same process, right? So you can give vouchers away for free. Absolutely. Like, that's a use case. You could do that. But for me, it's if I'm making a group sale and then I want to give that person the ability to share that access with all of the different people that they wanted to bring in. So then what happens is the student has that voucher code, and when they go to sign into the website, there's a question in the registration form that says, have a voucher? And then you put the voucher in there, and it basically credits them the cost of entry, the cost of the access code, and it registers them into the website. So for me, there's two very distinct uses for vouchers or coupons. For me, a voucher is like a receipt for like a group sale, and a coupon is like a marketing tool that I would put on a lead magnet that says, hey, this course is normally $100, but if you sign up before Christmas, you can get in for $50. Use this coupon code. And that's how I use that. So I think of one as marketing and one as functional. Again, different use cases. WordPress is very flexible and very unique in that way. So you could have a different use case that fits your purposes, but that's the way that, in my brain, that's the way I separate those and keep control of that verbiage.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way. Marcus had a comment, or golden ticket for a chocolate factory. Yeah, where you might
golden ticket.
Golden ticket. So do you mean you enter the voucher or coupon in the same place when you go through checkout? So no, it would actually be in a different place, and we'll jump back to Luke's question here in a second. But yeah, it would be a different place. It would be the registration form. So coupons, as you mentioned, would be on checkout. I don't know if I could pull up fast enough where we have an access point. We create a coupon and it's used on the checkout page for a discount. The voucher code would be used regarding registration. So if I go to the LifterLMS settings and I enable registration on the account page, for example. So if I say open registration, allow students to register from the dashboard page. Then what I would do is use the Lifter forms, the register form. When using vouchers, register becomes more important as a form like to work with. Well, it doesn't look the best here. So I just want, basically, what do I want here? I don't want address. Let me clean this form up a little bit. We'll delete address. We'll delete phone number.
Yeah, the registration form has the voucher thing, and the checkout page has the coupon.
Yeah, so if I were to jump over here, I'm going to log out real quick and we'll see, sign out. We have the register area on checkout. Now that I check that box, it's going to put the register form here with a voucher. So this is where people would come with a voucher code to sign up and be able to use that code. Seems to be only one space. Yeah, that's the checkout form. You could also use a shortcode, LifterLMS docs/shortcodes. To populate it on a different page, we have a shortcode. I think it's the last one, 24 registration. You can drop this short code into your own custom page.
If you're showing that on that screen share, you don't have it on the screen.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I was doing a whole screen share. I was doing a whole demonstration.
Yeah, I was like, sharing. Is he trying to find the page, or is he like, I see it moving down there, but I'm not sure what's happening.
Yeah, I got to backtrack through what I did now. But yeah, so I'll backtrack a little bit here. But this is what the voucher would look like for a student. So we have the student dashboard page. You can either log in or you can register. And if you register, this is where you drop the voucher code. So there's no payment here because, as Kurt mentioned, it's sort of a receipt that you put in your voucher code and you'd be enrolled into the courses or memberships. Let me log in here in my other window so I can show you the settings again. I don't use the username and password to get into this website. I use a login link. So I gotta re-sign in. So now I should be signed in. Okay. So what I did to make that happen real quick is LifterLMS settings, accounts, and I did open registration. And this is gonna make it so the form, the registration form here, is gonna be used on the My Account page. So this form with the, let me use this. We got email, password, first name, last name, voucher. That's gonna appear on the login page. So if you have an option to log in or an option to sign up for the voucher. And then the last thing I was showing is this short code can also be used on a custom page. If you make a new page, pages add new, put the short code on there, that could be a separate registration page. Yeah, I guess that's coupons versus vouchers.
There's something else I want to add about this voucher thing, Will.
Yeah.
Whenever I've had a client use the voucher system with large organizations, there's been a rash of emails and support emails coming in about, I don't know where the voucher code goes. Like everyone gets lost. So now as a best practice, what I do is, and I do it individually for each site. I'll say, hey, real quick, I make a Loom video or I use Clarity Now, but I make some kind of a quick tutorial. It's only like 30 seconds. You go, hey, in this email is your voucher code. When you go to register for your course, within the site, you're going to see this form. And then this is where you add your voucher code and sign in. And this is how you use that credit. Right. And then we send that to the client. The client adds that video link to their email as like a type of onboarding. So it's like, this email contains your voucher code. And if you click this link, it'll show you exactly where it goes. And
yeah,
then
that's
no more support emails.
Yeah, it's always good to have that user experience. I actually had I like Luke's question here, so I want to jump over to it here in a minute. But the user experience is very important. Like you mentioned, putting a video in there. I had a customer today ask me for the first time, I never heard this. Their customers were visiting the student dashboard page. They're visiting the this login page where they can see their courses, and they didn't know how to access the course from here. It's like, and the customer was like, just click on the course. Like you got 3 courses in front of you, just click on the one you want to go into. And the customers didn't really put that together. And I was like, I've never heard that question before. So what we did to solve it is we went in, we edited the picture. So we got the picture of the computer, picture of the lady here, and the picture of the, it's probably some famous building I have no clue what it is. But we put like in the photo, click here to get started with the course, like in big blue letters, so that they click there to get started with the course. And I was like, I guess that does make the user experience more intuitive. Absolutely. But I just had never come across the question of like, how do you don't know what to do from here? Like this seems pretty obvious to me, but it's not obvious to everybody. So like you said, having that video in the email or having some kind of annotations on your website as to what to do on each page helps with user experience a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, Luke here in chat, it seems the benefit of voucher over 100% off coupon is not having to go through the checkout form. Absolutely. And sometimes there's like a purchase title at the top of the page. It says purchase. And I've heard clients before say, it's Cambridge University. That's thanks, Marcus, in the chat. It takes a village to help Will understand what's happening. But yeah, so that user experience component can be worked into the website in a few different ways. But yeah, let's jump over to Luke's question here. I think this is a really good question. I believe courses can be grouped by categories. If a student is enrolled in multiple courses, can they view their courses by category? That's a really good question. And we can create that setup, but it does require a little bit of manual configuration to make this work. What I would do, I'm just going to customize the student dashboard page a little bit. I'm going to reimagine the student dashboard page. I'm not sure exactly what your use case would be, but if I'm reimagining the student dashboard page a little bit, what I might do is put in a heading, and I would say your courses. I would move it down here, and I would use a short code. And the short code, I love short codes, would be the courses one, number 16. And I would do courses by category, and I would put that here, and I click on courses by category, and I'll get the category here in a second. But I would also do mine equals enrolled. So mine is going to be enrolled. So mine equals. So this is going to show me courses that I am enrolled in that are in a certain category. And so if I make a course category real quick, I don't think I have any. Let's see. And I could explain this as well. A lot of people don't know in Lifter that you can group these courses by category. So if you have a big library of courses, you can make it a little bit easier on the back end and the front end to organize them. So if we have the budgeting category, I have 3 courses already in the budgeting category. We can make a new category, and then when we go to our courses page, we can, in the quick edit screen, I like to just check these boxes to say which category it's in. But when you're editing a course, just like when you're editing a blog post, you can also put them in categories over here on the right. And so once all your courses are sorted into categories, you could display courses in the business budgeting. Let me confirm that's the slug. The slug for a category, that was wrong. It's budgeting. So it's just going to be budgeting. Category is budgeting that I'm enrolled in. So then if I view my page, so this is the top, the short code for my account, and then I have my achievements. Your courses. I have no courses in the business budgeting category. Let me enroll myself into one of them real quick. This is the, or I'll just put, what is the course I am enrolled in real quick? I'm enrolled in the business budgeting course. So let me make sure that's in the appropriate category. It's in the budgeting category. Maybe I messed up the shortcode. So if I edit my page, I'm just going to remove the shortcode at the top. The category is budgeting that I am enrolled in. Did I get the right category slug? Budgeting mine enrolled. Am I enrolled in this one? So I got the right category slug. And make sure Arthur Wells is enrolled into that one. Arthur Wells. Let me just delete myself and re-enroll myself, make sure this works.
You were paused, right? You had the recycle symbol. You weren't active.
Oh, okay. I might have kicked. Yeah, that might be it. So if I update my dashboard and view the page. Okay, cool. So this is going to show me courses that I am enrolled in the business budgeting category. So then what we would do is duplicate this. Thanks, Kurt, for that catch. You're right about that with the recycling. It looks like I had lost access for some reason. But what we would do is just change this out. So we would say your budgeting courses. Maybe we would duplicate this and say, what would be another category I want to do?
Exotic foods. Nope, that's not
foods. One. We could make one though. So it'd be exotic foods. If I had an exotic foods course. It's funny to have budgeting and exotic foods in the same website. So we have our exotic foods category. We have our quick start course, which would this would automatically go in that category, of course, and then make sure I'm enrolled in that course so it shows up for me. Arthur Wells, who I'm logged in as, is going to be enrolled in the course. And then it was exotic foods. So on my dashboard page, I'm basically building myself kind of a customized dashboard where we can show courses that user's enrolled in by category. A little bit of a manual setup to configure this. It's not like an automatic thing, but it is possible to create that.
That's cool. And then I use the category breakdown on a lot of my websites to separate the courses on the front end.
Oh yeah, so you're talking about like on the catalog pages before customers buy?
Yeah. So on my course catalog, I've got like my action leadership team site is all broken down by category. So I have I have a leadership section, a technology section, a crud, I can't remember, personal development section, and something else.
Yeah, it's a great way to do that on the front end too. So this would be like, even before you're enrolled, I was using that parameter, mine equals enrolled, but you could just do it as a customized course catalog as well. For like Kurt's example, where it just makes it a lot easier to sort through the courses. And I've used Cadence Blocks has a tab option, or Elementor also has a tab option where you can create tabs or toggles or things to organize, and then you can drop shortcodes into your tabs or toggle blocks, and then it just makes a really interesting course catalog page that's easy to navigate.
Yeah. The tabs is almost like having a deck of cards to go through.
Yeah. I love tabs and just ways to have, it's a good user experience. Tabs is a user experience upgrade in a lot of ways, if it's sorted properly. Marcus, thanks for the information. To be clear, you'd only need to use a registration form when you use a voucher, and vice versa, because I never use it only with checkout. Yeah, so in your case, register just isn't used unless you're using checkout, and then you'd use the register for vouchers. Some LifterLMS users like to have a free register option on their website. I think our academy.lifterlms.com site might be using it, but you can also have users register without enrolling in a course via, what is this? Create your free enrollment. What am I enrolling in? This is a purchase plan. I don't know what this is. On the login page, here it is. Okay. So at LifterLMS.com Academy, you can register for free without enrolling in a course, just for a free user account. So that's why we're using register. But it sounds like in your use case, there's no use for register unless you wanted to use vouchers. Luke, that's cool. I think it'll work well for our need. Just have to be sure to bookmark the StreamYard replay so I have the info for the shortcodes. Absolutely, yeah. The shortcodes page, I can even put it here in chat, is I always go all the way to the top, and then I click on the navigation 16. So it would be like this, and then these options up here in the table help you customize the shortcode. I'll put this one here in the StreamYard chat. This would be the one I used, was mine equals enrolled. So that's the short code that I was working with on screen there.
And you know what, Luke, kind of like a pro tip, if you have the ability to, because I know if you're new to short codes, you can be afraid of breaking something or showing something on the front end that doesn't look weird, especially if you have a lot of users. Just do a staging site, and then play in the staging site and experiment with the different, modifications and customizations you can do with the short code, and really pick what you want. And then when you're ready, move that to production.
Yeah, it's a good way to do it.
Or just stay up late and work while everyone else is sleeping.
That's another good strategy. I feel like my freelance agency business went a lot smoother when I was up in the middle of the night, because I could do more migrations and late night work. It's like, oh, we can do this migration from midnight to 2 a.m. Absolutely. Yeah. Cool. Well, we have coupon code on screen, LifterLMS-live. Anyone who's interested in purchasing a LifterLMS product, that'll get you 15% off any product. So be sure to check that out. Thanks. No problem. We have about 4 minutes left. I guess, Kurt, do you have any thoughts for today? I know Luke, but I like the background. That's thanks for that feedback. Before the Feature Friday we did last week, Chris had mentioned something that this was a feature, and then I went to Pixabay and found a space background that works with the theme. Cool.
No, I think well, for one, if you're watching this and you're actually a freelancer or you work with an agency, we do have that agency link. We've got that in our banners or branding. Will, could you throw that up there? Yeah, I got it.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. LifterLMS.com/agency. And I go live periodically and have, agency focused discussions with people from all over the world. And I know tomorrow Oliver is joining me from Germany, because I'm doing it at 8:30 in the morning. So 8:30 in the morning for me, Central. So 7:30 in the morning if you're on the East Coast, and no, I got that wrong. It'd be 9:30 in the morning if you're on the East Coast, and I don't know, 5:30. Who cares? It'd be 8:30 in the morning for me, Central, and then I've got people from Europe joining the call, so I'm pretty excited. I like when people from across the pond, jump on the call. They end up being good discussions.
Yeah.
You can join that. Like if you're a freelancer or an agency, don't hesitate. There's no cost. There's no pressure. And remember that an agency you're not obligated to buy LifterLMS to participate, because in a lot of cases, your customers are probably making the purchase and you're just doing the work. So don't be afraid to join, and don't think that you get treated poorly because you're not a paying customer. It's all about sharing the information and getting ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great way to get clients is to engage with those kind of calls. I put up a new background here on our streaming yard to try to close it out, but it's Kurt's
with my fat belly.
It's this photo, but my face is blocking it, and I can't move it. So we'll go back to space.
Back to space.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for joining us here on the live stream. Feel free to let us know in the comments anywhere you're at, any questions you have or topics you want to see us make content about. Will Middleton and Kurt Ahnen from LifterLMS signing out for the week, and we'll see you in the next one.